Hollywood.
America was not ready for an Asian hero.
Act of passion.
His goal was to show the beauty of his Chinese culture to the world.
And philosophy of a legend.
Water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
A 30 for 30 premiere, Be Water, Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Brought to you by Light Sky by Blue Moon, AT&T, and Bank of America.
This is ESPN Radio, 102.7 at 1450 WWKU, Plum Springs, and W247BQ Bowling Green. ESPN Radio, 102.7.
On ESPN 102.7 FM and 104 The Score. Brought to you by Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating and Cooling and Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center with your host, Brian Webb. Also starring John Kirby and Sergeant J.D. Williams from Mohawk Outdoors. Josh Honeycutt from Realtree Outdoors. Also made possible by Swagger Bipods. Gary Force Paint and Body Shop. J&K Used Cars on the Bypass. Segments in part by Big & J Long Range Attractants, our national sponsor, and Renegade Marine. Also featuring Realtree's Michael Penley Small Game Recipes from Realtree Outdoors. Timber 2 Table Wild Game Recipes. Sponsored by Tetra Hearing Devices. Get your edge back and hear the hunt. And all phone interviews via the Line X of Bowling Green hotline. Get ready for all things outdoors. Here's your host, Brian Webb.
Country music singers have always been a real close family. But lately some of my kinfolk have disowned.
Hey everybody, Southern Kentucky's great outdoors. Beautiful day out there. Great day to be outdoors. It's a family tradition here, I tell you. You know, from our Realtree guys to John and I, we go back, and Brad Bowles, man, tradition of law enforcement in his family and outdoorsmanship. Great to have you in the studio, buddy.
Man, I didn't know whether or not to break in with karaoke.
I started to sing. I've had to make myself not sing. I've gotten in trouble a few times about that.
I just remember I want to be invited back, so
You bust out in song anytime you want to, Brad Bowles.
Man, it's good to be back. I haven't been in the studio with you in a good while.
It has been a while. I don't think anybody's been anywhere in a couple months.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Casey and I have got to see a lot of each other. Casey Warner on the board, my man over there doing it right. Got his UK gear on, sporting those cats.
On U of K.
NBA opens up with their proposal today. Hopefully that'll stick. Baseball's got turned down. But before we get too far into this, we got a awesome guest waiting on the Line X hotline. Line X bedliners. Roger, Gina, get over there. Brad Bowles has got a Line X in his truck.
Absolutely. Wouldn't be in my truck without one.
Couldn't do it without one. As many things that get tossed back there after a good hunting season. Michael Penley on the Line X hotline, brought to you by Tetra Hunt. Hear the hunt. Ear protection doesn't have to suck, Brad Bowles. You need to get on there and do that ear test. As much as you've been around firearms, might be something for you to look into. Tetra.com, TetraHunt.com. TetraHearing.com. You can also go through there. Check it out right now. They got some great discounts if you mention SOKY's Outdoors or the Sports Web. Michael Penley, you got something super tasty. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
Man, it's going good. Always get to chatting, and I'm thinking, man, I got to get to Penley. He's sitting there. He's waiting. He's busy. He's probably got blind to work on, or a deer stand to fix, or somebody's hungry around the Penley house. I got Brad Bowles, Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife, here in studio with us, Michael, and you got to get away for a bit, didn't you?
We did. Cheryl and I, we're coming up on our 25th anniversary.
Wow, happy anniversary.
Thank you. And Pot Roast and I are leaving the day after our anniversary to go on a canoe camping trip up in northern Minnesota. So we figured we better take advantage, or I figured I better take advantage and get away with Cheryl for a little while we could, even if it was a week or so early. So.
Smart man right there. And you know what? Have you ever noticed that a work week, Monday through Friday, opposed to a few days away, how much quicker the few days away go than the work week?
It flies by.
Yeah.
Wish we could change that. Am I saying this right? Because I'm pretty excited about tonight's Timber to Table, brought to you by Tetra Hunt. And it looks like we've got Dutch oven donut bourbon bread pudding. My goodness.
He had me at donut.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big donut fan, and this is a great camp dessert. If you're at deer camp or if you're just camping with the family in the summertime or turkey camp, and you want a big dessert to feed a crowd, this one's pretty easy, especially if you do a little bit of the prep work at home. All it takes is 18 donuts, so get 2 dozen and eat 6 of them on the way home.
There you go.
That's what I usually do. And a traditional bread pudding is just bread soaked in a custard that gets baked, usually with some raisins on it and maybe a little bit of icing. So we do a little bit of a twist on that. We take these donuts, we tear them into small bite-sized pieces so that they kind of nestle into the bottom of a 12-inch Dutch oven. You want, 2 or 3 inch layer of donuts in there. And you mix up a custard of eggs and milk. You beat those together. You put in a little bit of vanilla, just a little bit of sugar. You don't need a lot of sugar because the donuts are already sweet. And a little bit of bourbon if you like. It's good with or without it. Traditional breaded pudding a lot of times has bourbon in it, and I like to add a little bit. It cooks right out, so the alcohol does, but the flavor stays. So mix up all that custard at home. Put it in a big bowl, a Tupperware bowl with a tight-fitting lid. Stick that in the cooler. It's ready to go when you get to camp. Tear those donuts up. Pour that custard on it. Nestle your Dutch oven down over some coals. Put another 15 to 20 coals on top of the lid. Let that bake for about 45 minutes. And while that bakes, mix up the icing. You take a block of cream cheese that's soft, that's set out at room temperature for a little while and gotten soft. Some powdered sugar, a little bit of milk, and a little more bourbon if you like. Mix all that up and kind of warm it up to where it's thin, and you can pour it on. That last 15 minutes of bake time, you bake it for 45 minutes, take the lid off the Dutch oven, pour that icing over the top, let that soak in, put that lid back on, and bake it for another 15 minutes after that. And it's a dessert that the entire family is going to love. A lot of flavor. Who doesn't love a donut? So,
yeah.
It's fairly easy. You got a 60-minute cook time, but you got maybe 10, 15 minutes of prep. So basically, it cooks itself. It's not something you got to be fussing with while you're sitting around the campfire.
Well, while I'm salivating like Pavlov's dog right now thinking about that, I just got to know where your deer camp is so I can make sure I come and inspect it at the time that you've got this.
Best deer camp ever.
Yeah. Hey, 60 minutes out, let me know, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Converge on my deer camp. It's about dinner time. But that's okay. We'll feed you guys.
You can keep the deer and guns. I'm seasoned the donut.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness. That's good stuff. Penley, you can find him at Timber to Table on Realtree.com. Man, I tell you, you need to get on Tetra Hunt, TetraHearing.com, Michael. Go ahead and take that hearing test. I'd love to try to get a pair of those in your hand to take on that fishing trip because that'd be pretty cool. Be able to hear what's going on in the woods while you're out there. But
it would be. We're going to be in the back country, way away from cities. No cell phone service. It's going to be pretty remote in the boundary waters up there. Catching fish for dinner, we hope. We're going to pack some freeze-dried stuff just in case, so we don't starve. But we hope to catch enough fish for dinner each night. And it would be cool to have a little bit of an enhanced hearing up there with all the wildlife around.
Brad, I mean, when a guy like Penley's with you, you don't have to worry about food because he can.
You're not going to go hungry.
You're not going to go hungry.
Yeah.
He can make something out of nothing.
That's right. I just can imagine, how tranquil it's going to be up there and having a nice shore lunch with some nice walleye fried up. That's going to be amazing, I'm sure.
That's what we're hoping. We're hoping to catch enough walleye each day for lunch or at least dinner, and hopefully lunch and dinner both. So, looking forward to the trip.
I guess Michaela and the other one going to get work on your early deer season stuff you got to get done.
Yeah, they can start prepping anytime they want to. Pot Roast is already prepping. He's running cameras.
Of course he is.
He's freshening up mineral licks back early and keeping an inventory of what's around and what made it and what didn't. So,
got a lot of new fawns dropping right now too.
Yeah, we're seeing a bunch of fawns. Ross works maintenance at a summer camp for a summer job. He does a lot of mowing and stuff down here close to the house, and he's reported seeing several new fawns in the last week, and found several turkey nests along some edges, field edges and stuff. So
that's good.
Hopefully the weather holds decent, and both of them have a good year.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Well, we hope you have a good year as well, and we hope you guys have a blast up there. Great father and son time, and, man, I kind of wished I was pot roast, to be honest with you.
It should be a good trip. I'll definitely fill you guys in when we get back on how everything goes.
Sounds good.
Look forward to hearing all about it.
Always a pleasure, brother. Appreciate it.
Take it easy, guys.
All right, my man. We'll talk to him next Wednesday, but right now we're going to take a quick break, Brad Bowles. And
Sounds good.
We're going to come back with Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center fishing. And we got tonight's kind of a fishing theme, which goes right along with Brad Bowles being here, Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife. He is a fisherman.
If you like talking bass fishing, we got your show tonight.
Yeah.
No Sherbert's got to be grinning from ear to ear with these two boys and how well they've done.
You know he is.
Yeah.
He knows how to pick them, don't he?
Yeah, that's right.
And I get to be part of that. I guess he kind of picked me, too, so I'm not for tournament fishing, though. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll talk to some real tournament fishers. Both of them tonight finished in the money in the FLW Pickwick over the past weekend. Great to have them on, so timely. Stay with us. Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors, ESPN 102.7.
Gary Force Paint and Body Shop stands with Southern Kentucky in this pandemic because they know if you've ever driven in Bowling Green, you can survive anything. A natural name change? I just don't see a one there. It's just I-6, an entire Fountain Square renovation. Oh, there's a spot. Park over there. And, of course, the roundabout.
Hey, I think I finally got this whole roundabout thing down.
We made it through that, and we'll make it through this. Together. Gary Force Paint and Body Shop. Bowling Green's ICAR Gold Certified Body Shop that works with all major insurance. Behind the post office on Vanderbilt Drive.
Although hunting to most of us is much more than just harvesting animals, why not better your deer herd's health with Big & J Long Range Attractant? Big & J is highly digestible, high in protein, and isn't full of preservatives. With Big & J Long Range Attractants, you're not only exploiting one of the few weaknesses whitetails have, their stomachs, but you're maximizing antler growth, improving overall herd health, and pulling deer from your neighbor's property. So whether your goals are to fill the freezer, kill mature bucks, or both, Big & J Long Range Attractants will stack the odds in your favor, all the while making your deer herd bigger and healthier.
Not all spray-in is created equal. For example, spray-in honey. Why are all these bees following me? Or maybe spray-in tanning.
Hey, you missed a spot there on your face. Oh, that's bad.
See Line-X of Bowling Green for spray-in bed liners and Line-X truck gear. It's the next level of complete tough gear for your truck. B&W gooseneck hitches, toolboxes, step bars, and WeatherTech door mats. Get cards now available. Easy, affordable, and rugged. Line-X. Check out more at linexofbowlinggreen.com.
When Poston Electronics opened in Bowling Green back in 1974, it sounded more like this.
Turn it up, man!
Now Poston is as legendary as the artists Southern Kentuckians hummed through the speakers they've bought there for the last 45 years. Poston is everything audio with top brands like JP Audio and Alpine. From home theaters, boats, motorcycles, side-by-sides, custom work, installation, service, or sales, Poston still has the sound. Turn it up, man. Poston Electronics, across from Firestone on Broadway Avenue.
Can you hear the hunt? You will with Tetra. Designed by hearing doctors and avid hunters, Tetra offers premium hearing enhancement and protection. Programmed for your specific hearing loss. Endpoint turkeys gobbling, the big bucks slipping behind you, or protect your ears in the duck blind. If you want your edge back, try Tetra risk-free for 30 days. Call now and mention SportsWeb and receive $100 off your order. 615-618-9904 or anytime at TetraHunt.com. Tetra isn't just hearing protection, it's hearing perfection.
The federal government provides $150 billion a year to make higher education possible for anyone. Completing the free application for federal student aid, known as the FAFSA, is the first step to getting your share. But an estimated $40 million in financial aid is left on the table each year by Kentucky students. Don't let that happen to you.
Fill out the new and improved FAFSA today. Visit knowhowtogoky.org and join the conversation on Twitter. #KnowHowToPayKY. This message is brought to you by the Pritchard Committee Student Voice Team and the Council on Post-Secondary Education.
time to go fishing with Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center, 415 Commerce Drive, Litchfield, Kentucky, on SOKY's Great Outdoors.
Welcome back to the show. Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center, Litchfield. Get up there, check them out. John Newton, give him a call. They're open for business, folks. And this guy's open for business every day. Hails from Katawa, and he is my main man. On 'em fishing, Matt Robertson, Bassmaster Classic competitor. What's up, man?
What's up, Brian? You doing all right, buddy?
I'm trying to talk fast because it always goes too fast with Matt Robertson, and I want to get it all in our 11 or 12 minutes here. First of all, man, Brad Bowes, Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, hanging with me right now, and we've just been talking about your ability to fish, and it's great to have you and Bean on because you both did well in the FLW. Take us through Pickwick, man. Did you have any monsters get off, or did you just pretty much get everything you could?
No, man, I pretty much got everything I could. It was fishing really tough. And, dude, I found a lot of schools, and the water came up like a foot during practice, and that messes those deep fish up. But some of them stayed out there, and caught a couple big ones the first day cranking along with some little 15-inchers. And dude, funny story, second day, I started on a spot. And me and Bean had shared a spot the day before, and I couldn't get bit, so I rolled out of here, and Bean rolled up and stayed there all day and caught 19 pounds and made the top 10.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I was real happy for him, though, If anybody deserves it, he does.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We did not know that. And I was just, you if you're going to finish, you made the money, so that's always good.
Hey, drawing the check's good any way you go about this, especially with those. You're in an elite group of anglers in this type of tournament. You're fishing right there amongst the big guys, and of course, you've proven you can hang right there with them by making the Bassmaster Classic. So, what about that stained water? And there was a lot of current. How did you adjust your fishing techniques to deal with that?
Yeah, the stained water didn't really bother me. And I'm not they had a lot of current down there, and we don't usually have that amount of current on Kentucky Lake. We do, but not this time of year, and I actually think it helped the bite. It stopped. The problem is the fish weren't out there all the way yet. There are still a lot of fish up shallow, and I think if that current could have held up a little bit, it would have allowed more fish to swim out there deep. But that current really helps getting them to bite. I'll never shy I'll take more current than I will the lack of.
Do you think overall that the bass were kind of a little bit behind there at Pickwick from transition over where they should have been?
Oh, yeah, no doubt they're a solid 2 weeks behind. They should have, I was seeing small schools of, 5 to, I've seen a couple schools of 20 during practice, but they left.
They heard Matt Robertson on them was coming.
That high water, man, it messes them up, and they left. But normally you'd be seeing 200, 300 fish schools.
Wow, it's
like Kentucky Lake used to look.
Right. June or last of May. June is typically when you have that ledge fishing that's so. That Pickwick is just known for. How many smallmouth were in your bags?
Yep.
Did you have a lot of smallmouth?
Man, I did not. I had all largemouth.
All largemouth. That's surprising on Pickwick, yeah.
Yeah, all largemouth. I know some other guys caught some big smallies. Man, I actually forgot. I hate to say this, but I got tied up, and I'm actually fishing right now out on the lake.
I hope you set the hook while we're on here, man. That would be so awesome. Don't drop your phone in the lake. Are you back home?
Yeah, we're on Kentucky Lake.
How's the bite down there?
We just got out here. It's the first time I've been out since I've been home.
Water's really?
High. We ain't caught a whole lot yet, but we're giving it a shot, man.
You made a comment a minute ago how the fish were stacked up on the ledges like they used to be at Kentucky Lake. What's going on with Kentucky Lake? Is it a matter of just the fish have kind of just relocated, and as anglers they need to adjust, or has the fishing as a whole kind of been a little off?
No, the fishing's been off. The population's been down, but the population's coming back. There's a lot of a lot of 14 to 16-inch fish in the lake and seen a lot of 4-pounders. You know, in 2 years, this lake will be back to what it's at.
Oh, that's good to hear. What about a shad spawn this year? Are you seeing much? Are you
Yeah,
seeing
I'm
many
seeing
shad
a
on the
lot of
lake?
shad. Yeah, a lot more threadfin, a lot more gizzard shad, a lot of schools of small bait. So I think the whole ecosystem in the whole is coming back.
Oh, that's good, because those two lakes there are treasures for this state. And
Yeah.
you know, if the department can get in a good working condition with the commercial fishermen to target those Asian carp and get as many out of those as they can, then the fishery's going to rebound and be a whole lot better for sure.
I agree. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
You want to take a guess on who I'm fishing with right now? He's teaching me something.
Seth Feider.
Huh?
Who you fishing with? I'm going to guess wrong.
Your favorite boy, Seth.
Oh, I said it. I got it right. Oh, my
Yep.
gosh. Man, I wish we'd have known
Good
I'd
guess.
had you put it on speaker. Tell him we'd love to have him on the show sometime.
Yeah. You want to talk to him a minute?
Yeah, man.
All right, here he is. Hello.
Seth, man, what an honor to have you on. Big fan, brother. Big fan. How are you? Oh, we lost him.
Oh,
He hit
no,
the, I bet he hit the daggone it, and we don't have time to get him back on. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man.
That's the amazing fighter man.
He's so good. And I love his hair. I mean,
Yeah,
I just like his
I mean-
style. You know, he's
Yeah.
that long hair country boy, don't care. I love it.
He's got the mullet action going,
He
doesn't
does.
he? Yeah.
Click that case. I don't know if you can hear or not, but we lost him. Hang up? Yeah, just hang up. Did you try to call him back? No, that was we were going to get that, you know, all that recording. Oh, man. Grab it. There they are. Josh won't mind to wait a second. Hey, guys, that's you? Hello? Hello?
Hey, let me put you on. I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, folks. Hey, some things happen during live radio that you can't help it. Hey, we got you guys back. You hear us?
Yep.
Hey,
There they are.
Seth, man.
There he is.
Listen.
What's up, boy?
Hey, man. First of all, Southern Kentucky's Great Outdoors thanks you for taking this call, and thanks you for taking Matt out and giving him a few pointers. Not that he needs a whole lot, but how's your
Other
world?
way around here. I got the old ledge master showing me how it's done today.
Down in Minnesota boy in Kentucky. I like that. My wife's from Minnesota.
Yeah.
She's from Albert Lee. You been through there?
Oh, yeah. I'm not far from there at all.
That's good. I love it up there. I haven't been ice fishing.
Half an hour, 40 minutes.
Oh, that's real close, man.
Yeah.
Since we don't have a whole lot of time, and you snuck up on me, I want to ask you a question. We ask a lot of great anglers like you, and I've had Zona on, your buddy, and I've enjoyed him. But what got you into fishing? Was it a grandfather? Was it a neighbor? Was it just a passion that was inside of you?
It was definitely my dad got me out when I was real young, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. He'd take me out quite a bit. And actually, my aunt had a cabin up in northern Minnesota, so we'd go up there a few weekends of summer, and I'd just sun up to sundown. I'd be standing on her dock catching whatever, bluegill, perch, little rock bass, or every once in a while I get something decent, a bass or decent pike, and run up to the cabin, show everybody, and run back down the hill and let it go. But yeah, my dad definitely got me going when I was real young, and then I don't know, when I was probably about 9, 10, 11 years old, I started seeing the Bassmasters on, like back in the days on the old TNN network.
Oh, yeah.
But
I watched it every Sunday.
And that's when I just became obsessed with bass fishing. Like when my dad took me, it was just catch whatever, throw a bobber and a worm, and catch a bass, catch a crappie,
stuff.
whatever.
Hey, Seth, real quick, it's been an unusual year with everything shut down, COVID even shutting down the fishing tournaments. How excited are you guys to be back in action, and what tournament are you looking forward to the most this year going forward?
Oh, no, I'm absolutely fired up. At this point, it's been so long since I fished a tournament, I'd have drove to Florida just to get a little coffee can tournament for $50. But, yeah, well, I'm amped up to get back out there. I think the fall tournament's going to be a good event, but the one I'm most looking forward to is Cayuga. They snuck that one in on the schedule for us. We weren't supposed to go there this year, so that's a lake I really love, and kind of a nice little bonus getting that on the schedule and taking Sabine off. They rescheduled Sabine for next year, so
awesome.
I'm really excited about that one. That one fishes the most like my home lake at every place I've been in the country, so looking forward to get back out there and taking a swing at that one.
Well, man, we don't want to hold you up. I want you to get to rip some lips this late afternoon. But you kind of answered my question, maybe. But my last question was, what is your favorite lake in the United States continental to fish?
Oh, it's hard to pick one. I'd say Cayuga's right up there, and I've only been to Lake Fork one time, but that place is pretty amazing. I'm kind of curious to see what that'll be like in the fall. But that lake's got a bunch of really big fish in it, but deep down in my heart, I'm still a northern guy, and Cayuga's one of the best, smallmouth and largemouth lakes in the North Country, and that full of fish, a lot of big ones. I really enjoy going there.
Well, you're if not the best, one of the top fishermen in the United States, and we're honored to have you on the show. And you and Matt have a good one, man. We'll let you get back.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thanks,
good
guys.
luck this year, man.
Yeah, we'll talk to you, boys.
Appreciate it, Seth.
How awesome was that,
I
man?
mean, when do you get that opportunity? I mean, seriously, that was unbelievable. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. Going to come back with Real Tree's own Josh Honeycutt and jump into some deer hunting and some early season prep, and who else knows what he and Brad will talk about. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Big and J Long Range Attractions hunting segment. SOKY's Great Outdoors 1027.
The showroom and lot at Renegade Marine are open and packed with inventory. They want to see you on the water with a smile. Shop their inventory online anytime at renegademarine.net or come see their selection in person to find that perfect boat that you just can't live without. They're open regular hours and taking all CDC recommended precautions to keep you and their staff healthy and safe. Need parts or service? Renegade has you covered. Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center, just off the Western Kentucky Parkway, exit 107, Litchfield.
Okay, gun owners, listen up. You love to shoot, so you have to check out Tetra. Don't settle for big, hot, uncomfortable earmuffs or foam plugs. Developed by 2 hearing doctors, Tetra Alpha Shield is the best sounding, most comfortable, and easiest to use, period. Tetra is more than a hearing protection, it's hearing perfection. Get your edge back, try Tetra, risk-free for 30 days. Call now and mention SportsWeb and receive $100 off your order. 615-618-9904 or anytime at tetrahunt.com.
Do you want a barrel rest or do you want to shoot with swagger? Expand your shooting zone with Swagger, the all-terrain hunter's bipod. After more than 100 years, finally shooters have a bipod with patented, flexible, hyper-extending, telescoping legs that give you agility like never before. Get rid of those stiff legs and get the bipod with infinite maneuverability. Swagger, the bipod that moves. Shoot with confidence, shoot with Swagger. Lifetime warranty, swaggerbipod.com.
When Poston Electronics opened in Bowling Green back in 1974, it sounded more like this.
Turn it up, man!
Now Poston is as legendary as the artists Southern Kentuckians pumped through the speakers they've bought there for the last 45 years. Poston is everything audio with top brands like JP Audio and Alpine. From home theaters, boats, motorcycles, side-by-sides, custom work, installation, service, or sales, Poston still has the sound. Turn it up, man. Poston Electronics, across from Firestone on Broadway Avenue.
Welcome back to the show. Josh Honeycutt on the Linex hotline. Linex Bedliners, Roger, Gina, get over there. Porter Pike. Big and J Long Range Attractions Swagger Bipods presents our hunting segment. Josh, good to hear your voice almost. I haven't heard it yet, but we had to go a minute or two late there because we got Seth Feider on, man. Big time bass fisherman there. That was amazing.
Well, good deal, man. Thanks for having me on.
He's no bigger than Josh Honeycutt in my eyes.
We had big-time bass fisherman, now we got big-time deer hunter on.
Big-time deer hunter and absolutely great.
Big-time amateur.
Wordsmith, too, man.
Hey, brother, it's good to talk to you. How's everything been going?
Going well. Good to hear from you as well. How's your spring been? It's an early summer, I guess. We're almost there. If not technically, it feels like it.
Yeah, turkey season was well. You and I talked a little bit then. I know as a deer hunter, as passionate as you are about it, deer season isn't just from September to January. It's year long. So what are you doing right now in the deer woods to prep yourself for the upcoming season?
Yeah, we like to get along with our tree. Excuse me, we've been puffing because of some hay bales, but we like to get along with tree stand work done during the off season, the early off season. So we'll start working on moving tree stands, hanging new stands, pretty much as soon as the season closes. The sooner that we get that done, the less we're pressuring deer. Like to pressure deer once they get into their summertime patterns, because obviously if you disrupt them during their summertime patterns, that could throw them off for the first few weeks of bow season. So that's something that we definitely get done early as we can.
Well, and anymore with that early opening, one of the earliest deer season openings in the country, you have a great opportunity to target a bachelor group of bucks and a really good buck, don't you?
Yeah, and it's correct me if I'm wrong, but it's always that first full weekend in September, and it's one of the best, if not the best opportunity. I know there's some states open up, a little bit earlier. A lot of them are September 1st openers instead of the first weekend, but it's hard to beat Kentucky.
Are you you have your trail cameras running, and are you seeing many fawns in your area yet?
Actually, I don't put my trail cameras out until the first couple weeks of June, and I'll put out, refresh my mineral sites and put out my trail cameras the first couple weeks of June. So I don't have my cameras out yet. I've been, what I've personally been working on here the last few weeks is getting all of my spring food plots in. I'm a little bit behind on some of those. We had some clover plots that were already in, but we have some, we plant a lot of early season food plots, during the springtime, so they're growing throughout the summer, and those are the food plots that we hunt over for the early bow season. So we've been working on that here during the month of May, getting those in. But I still got to get my cameras out and get my mineral licks refreshed.
As you go forward, then I'm sure that you've got mineral supplements out, Big and J, I'm sure. How are you going to? What's your plan as far as? Do you have a particular buck already in mind of that you're going to hunt, or are you just are you going to be just looking out for what you've got?
Well, there's a couple of bucks that we know made it through the season. Several, we know a lot of bucks made it through the season, but there's a couple of really nice deer that we know for sure made it through the season. Found sheds to at least 3 or 4 bucks that we're probably going to be trying to relocate, when we put cameras out. But, there's always some surprises too. So hopefully we have some good surprises and a few deer show up. There's quite a few bucks that we've followed for the last 3 seasons. One buck that we followed for 4 seasons now. And so we're hoping to relocate, refine those deer back again this fall, this summer, and maybe get to put a play on one of those deer during the early bow season, hopefully.
You're fortunate to have several good parcels of land to hunt on. How successful have you been networking with your neighbors to promote a quality deer management type program?
We've had good and bad luck with that. Some people are willing and on board with it. Some people aren't, and that's perfectly okay. Deer hunting is, it means something different to everybody. And so, if they're on board with the QDM, then that's great. If not, that's their right. So, but we've been fortunate to have some people who are willing to do that. A lot of our neighbors are on the same page as we are, and so we're fortunate to have that co-op in place and be able to manage deer on a bigger scale than we would be able to if we only had, the 50 acres or the 40 acres or the 100 acres or whatever. There's a few properties that we hunt, and they're all somewhere between 50 and 200. But, you're able to achieve a lot more whenever, the neighbors and, you can continue to add acreage to that number with all the neighbors that surround you. And it makes a big difference because we have some properties that we don't have as good a success, helping to get on the same page with our neighbors, and the deer numbers and the deer quality shows that. You have a younger buck age structure on properties where you're not able to form those co-ops, so it does make a big difference.
Well, and again, if you go back to when Kentucky adopted the 1 buck limit, that I think paid huge dividends for the overall maturity of our deer herd, and you're more apt to see a 140-inch deer now because of that, don't you think?
Oh, I agree. I think that the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife does a phenomenal job of managing the state herd, and I'm no biologist, so I guess I'm not. I can't. Who am I to compare DNRs and wildlife agencies? But maybe I'm a little bit biased since I'm a Kentuckian, but, I think Kentucky does a great job. The KDFWR does a fantastic job and has done a fantastic job basically bringing the whitetail back from, a near extinction. It might be a little bit of a severe term because I know there were pockets of them throughout the state, but a lot of places didn't have them at all 30, 40 years ago. And look where we are now. So I think you're exactly right.
It's crazy. My former father-in-law would talk about having to go to the woodlands to deer hunt, which was land between the lakes many years ago. That was the only place there were any deer in Kentucky. And, we still have a lot of challenges, with the different deer diseases and stuff that we have. But overall, we've got a good, healthy deer herd in Kentucky. And I think if there's any pressing issue more so than anything, it's the fact that our buck management is good, but I don't think a lot of times our hunters practice good doe management. They don't harvest the does that they need to. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that that's something that we're all guilty of from time to time. We need to be killing at least as many does as we are bucks, and really we need to be killing more. In my opinion, I'm not a biologist, but having that buck to doe ratio as close to 1-to-1 as possible is healthy for the herd for one, and it makes the hunting better for two. So it's going to have whenever you have that 1-to-1 ratio instead of 1-to-3, 1-to-4, it makes for a more intensive rut. So not only is the herd healthier whenever it's a 1-to-1, closer to a 1-to-1 ratio, you have better sits in the tree stand. So it's definitely important and something we need to do. And at the end of the day, the main reason that we're deer hunting is for meat anyway, so there's no reason not to shoot one.
Right. And the further west you go in the state, the more out of proportion it seems to be. One of the biggest things that I get a lot as a game warden, I'll have somebody call and say, how can I get some of those landowner tags? And I'm like, well, you realize they're for antlerless deer only. Yeah. Okay, well, how many people have you got hunting your farm? Well, there's 5 of us. Well, how many does did you kill last year? Well, I think we killed 2. Do you realize that each one of you all could legally harvest 3 does apiece without any additional deer permits? So if people would just do their share of just filling what tags they've got, a lot of times that's going to be enough right there.
Right.
So
yeah, that's a great point, and it's statewide now, right? 1 buck, 3 does on your
yes,
your tag to permit.
Right. There's a 4, our limit is 4 deer, so essentially, but, there's different methods of harvest, depending on what zone and stuff. So, but, well, man, we just love your passion for deer hunting and love that you share it with us all the time. Have you got any big trips planned out of state this year for your season?
Well, of course, we'll be hunting here in Kentucky, making plans there. We've got a lease that we hunt up in, both John and I, we have a lease up in Ohio, and I've been hunting up in Ohio for the last several years, barring the fact that they could potentially not sell non-resident deer tags again like they did non-resident turkey tags. They didn't sell non-resident turkey tags this spring, or at least after a certain point they cut it off before the season started. So barring that they don't do that, we'll be planning to go back there to Ohio. And generally, if I get done in Ohio before the season ends, I go to hunt public land in Indiana. I've not been able to do that in several years because I've been taking it down to the wire each year and either not killing an Ohio deer or taking it down to the wire to do so. So generally, whenever I finish up in Kentucky, I go to Ohio, and then if I finish up there, I go to Indiana. And every now and then I'll throw an oddball state in there, but I haven't figured out where that would be this year yet.
It's really neat to see the morning, I'm sure, the sun come up in another state. And Kansas is definitely on my bucket list. I would love to go bow hunt Kansas.
Yeah. I tell you, hunting those out-of-state trips, whether it's private land, public land, doesn't matter. It's very doable. You can do it on a budget. It's just like anything else. If it's something that you really want to do, you'll set a budget for it and make it happen. And it's not something that you got to do every year, but if I would advise all passionate deer hunters who really love the outdoors to at least do it once. If not, find a way to make it an annual thing. You can do it on a budget, and something that you won't regret doing. I can assure that.
Especially whitetail deer. If you get into your bigger game, your elk and things like that, you're talking a lot of money then in most cases, or more money anyway. But a budget-minded hunter can really, maximize their opportunities and not be out a whole lot of money going to another state. So that's good information.
Especially if you do public land or find private land by permission. You know, we do that a lot. I've hunted out of state on private land by permission. I've hunted out of state on public land. And, you know, if you go and hunt public land, if you camp while you're hunting, you know, and you pack food and take it with you, you know, especially non-perishable items and stuff you can keep in a cooler, you can go deer hunt out of state and really just be out your gas to get there and your tag. You know, really. They might have a couple other small expensive, but if you camp and you hunt public land, you're really just out your tag and the price, you know, the cost to get there and back. So you can do it on a budget, on a shoestring budget, or you can spend more and do some other private land stuff. But, you know, just do it. Just make the plan to do it this fall and go do it.
Yeah, it's the experience overall. That's what the hunt's all about, isn't it?
Right. You don't have to go kill a 160-inch deer when you go on an out-of-state hunt. Just get out there and enjoy it. Doesn't matter if you kill anything or not. Doesn't matter if you just kill a doe, forkhorn, whatever it is. Just go and, you know, get a few buddies or a few family members and go have some fun.
Josh, I mean, we all love pot roast Penley. Obviously, how could you not? What a testament to youth hunting and youth outdoorsmanship. But you know, he grew up with Michael and a family of outdoors men and women, and you know he's been around it. And Brad and I see this every year at Fishing for Mentors. There's kids that've never seen a fishing pole in their life, and they catch a fish, and they just, I mean, they're elated, man. I mean, it's like they're floating, and you know there's got to be a young man, a young woman out there, Josh, who has really no one in their family that hunts. Nobody has the ability or the want to hunt, but this kid might be very interested in it, but he don't have a neighbor that hunts, and he doesn't know where to turn. What would you tell a young kid that really wants to get into the outdoors and deer hunt? What's a good way for them to kind of get out there? Is there any groups? Is there anything they can get online and put their name in a pot, you know, for a hunt? Or I mean, what would you suggest for them to do?
Link up with your local conservation organization chapters, NWTF, QDMA, Whitetails Unlimited, Ducks Unlimited, Delta Waterfowl. All of these organizations have programs, mentorship programs. So if you don't have anybody in your family, don't have a friend who can show you the ropes, these organizations have people in place to basically be mentors for people who don't already have one. So reach out to your local conservation organization chapters. These conservation organizations, they're conserving wildlife, but they're conserving hunters just as much as wildlife. So that's an option for sure, probably one of the best options. You can also reach out to other more, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily conservation organizations, but they're hunter recruitment organizations like Powder Hook. They have mentorship programs. There's a lot of other options out there. Brad, is there any options with the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife?
Well, we have some youth mentor hunts every year. Those are just, you know, it's hard to say they're randomly scheduled, though, but youth turkey hunts, mentor turkey hunts, and mentor deer hunts. So all that information is accessible on our state website at fw.ky.gov. So if you're interested in that, you can always check that out, too.
Sure. And I would even advise people to you know, social media platforms can be used for good as well. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media platforms. If you are needing to find or attempting to find or want to find a mentor, just put it out there. There are a lot of Facebook groups that are specific to you know, locations like Kentucky or even regions upstate within states. You can put out a call there saying, hey, I'm looking for a mentor. But I would say the best way to do that, the best way to find a mentor would be to go to your local organizations, local conservation organization chapters, because they're going to be able to put you in contact with someone who can show you the ropes. That would probably be my number one advice there.
Man, that's great information, Josh. And, you know, I know you've loved the outdoors since you were young, and you know there's kids out there that have that passion, don't even know it. That's great stuff right there. Real quick before we let you go, I wanted to tell you what Penley's cooking tonight. Dutch oven donut bourbon bread pudding. I'm in on that, aren't you?
Take my money.
And that leads to this question. You know, I haven't got to see you through COVID because, you know, everything's been the way it is, and we haven't missed a beat, though, which is great. Technology is good, but What have you and the wife, have you cleaned out all your deer meat? I mean, what have you all, because I tell you, man, if you're like us, we've been experimenting with meals just because you're at home, you're stuck, and, some carry out here and there, but what have you found a new favorite meal during this COVID shutdown?
We eat a ton of wild game. We eat deer meat multiple times each week. A lot of the times, our freezer is always just about to the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, by the end of summer, and we're even lower than normal because just haven't been getting out as much. So,
yes.
But yeah, we've got a lot of great recipes that we like to use. I use a lot of the roastery temperature-to-table options that Michael puts out there, but by the end of summer, we'll be ready to start killing stuff and filling it back up.
I know you will.
Obviously, whenever that September opener comes in, it's going to be time to start filling the freezer.
Yeah, I won't see you for 3 weeks at least. We always got to try to get around it somehow. These guys, that's the only thing about the show. When it comes to hunting, you guys want to be doing that more than you want to be sitting on a radio show for an hour. I know how that is. But man, we appreciate your contribution to the show is amazing, and it was great to have you and Brad getting to hang out again a little bit. That was fun. And John, he'll be back next week, and we'll get with you, buddy. But take care of everything and appreciate what you do.
Yeah, thank you all. Appreciate you as well.
See you, Josh.
See you.
Take care. All right, man, we're going to come back. We got the man himself, Michael Bean, who finished third.
I can't wait to talk to him about it. Yeah.
I cannot wait either. Great guy. Couldn't have it a better person. Nobody more deserving. So don't go anywhere. Coming right back with part 2 of Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center fishing segment with Michael Bean on SOKY's Great Outdoors 102.7.
If you're a student entering a community college or university, check this out. You can save money in college tuition by finishing your degree on time. Just earn 15 credit hours each semester or 30 a year. Do the math. The longer you stay, the more you pay for a college degree. Talk to your advisor and make a plan. Take 15 to finish on time. Get in, get out, get going. Visit knowhowtogoky.org.
This message is sponsored by knowhowtogoky.org.
And McCarty's coming in from the bullpen with no warm-up. I cannot believe this. We've never seen a pitcher come to the mound without warming up. Let's see what happens. Whoa, that's a long one. Oh, and another. Whoa, that's 7 home runs this inning. If he would have only warmed up.
In baseball, pitchers don't take the mound without warming up, so why would you take chances with your air conditioner when you need to cool down? Don't wait until it gets hot. Turn to the experts. Clean and service your unit today with Bowling Green Refrigeration, your authorized Carrier dealer. Bowling Green Refrigeration can service your Carrier unit and all other major units. Set up an appointment today. 270-782-5391. With a clean Carrier unit, there'll be no surprises this summer. Bowling Green Refrigeration. Your comfort is their concern.
The showroom and lot at Renegade Marine are open and packed with inventory. They want to see you on the water with a smile. Shop their inventory online anytime at renegademarine.net or come see their selection in person to find that perfect boat that you just can't live without. They're open regular hours and taking all CDC recommended precautions to keep you and their staff healthy and safe. Need parts or service? Renegade has you covered. Renegade Marine and Outdoor Center, just off the Western Kentucky Parkway, exit 107, Litchfield.
Okay, gun owners, listen up. You love to shoot, so you have to check out Tetra. Don't settle for big, hot, uncomfortable earmuffs or foam plugs. Developed by 2 hearing doctors, Tetra Alpha Shield is the best sounding, most comfortable, and easiest to use, period. Tetra is more than a hearing protection, it's hearing perfection. Get your edge back, try Tetra, risk-free for 30 days. Call now and mention SportsWeb and receive $100 off your order. 615-618-9904 or anytime at tetrahunt.com.
I am Southern Kentucky Great Outdoors. I am your spirit of the wild, my brother. God bless America. God bless Kentucky. God bless working hard, playing hard American families in the asset column. We are blood brothers.
Yeah, welcome back. Thanks for coming on back. Reel them in, folks, because we got top 3 FLW man, Michael Bean, the fishing fireman. What's going on, Michael, on the Line X hotline?
Not much, Brian. What's up?
Not much, man. Brad Bowles sitting here. We're both just living vicariously through you.
Man, we're just so super fired up. We're so proud of you. Dallas Carter called me and he said, man, Bean is smashing them down there. And I'm like, oh, man. And we were just tuned in. I regret that we didn't drive down there, but you got to tell us, man, how did all this unfold? Did you just land on a spot, or was it something you found in practice, or just tell us about it?
Yeah, first, I can't tell you how excited I am about it and how much God blessed me that past weekend. It's an amazing journey, and it's when I was driving home, my phone rang off the hook. I had like 43 missed text messages, and the guy was like, I need to let you go. You're probably tired. I was like, dude, I could hook the boat up to my back and run it home to Bowling Green. I'm not tired. But, yeah, practice is the first time I've ever been on Pickwick. Beautiful lake. But for me personally, I done had it in my heart and my mind that I was going to ledge fish, and that's what I was going to do. So I just started scanning the first day. And I would notice this as I would scan places that set up right on the map would have one or two fish on it, and I would put a fish picture on my graph, on my Lowrance graphs. And so first day of practice was really terrible. I caught one 15-inch fish and a short fish, and 10 hours. You get up at daylight and spend all day on the water and come off and just beat down and go do it again. And so day two, I ran some new stuff, but I went over those fish pictures and noticed that the ones and twos were now, fours and fives. And I was like, man, those fish are coming this way. This is where they got to be. And the last day of practice, they just showed up out there deep. And, the few schools that I found that were really stacked up, they were sitting in about 25 feet of water, which I was hoping that not many people had found them that deep. There was a lot of people fishing secondary ledges, and I don't think a lot of people were on the river ledge, which helped me out quite a bit, and I was blessed to find some out on river ledges. And, of course, the rest is history. I ended up with the third-place finish. I actually had 3 giants on that got off, which the third day was the biggest fish I had on all week, and she got right up to the boat and dove down and popped off, and I just fell to my knees. I was like, oh, my gosh. But, at the end of the day, I told my co-angler, I was like, I just got to shake it off. I said, man, I'm in the top 10. I said, fishing championship Saturday, there's 141 other guys that would trade places with me right now.
Yeah, no kidding. If my dad would have been in your situation and lost one right there, he'd have broke his rod and reel completely in half. I mean, so you do take it in stride, Michael. Great temperament out there, and that's what it takes to be a winner at this. But Brad and I were chatting. Just the odds of you going down to unseen Pickwick and fighting through that field of anglers and coming out of there in the top 3, man, and really with a chance to win it there, I would think with that 6 or 6.5 getting off. I mean, the odds, Brad, they got to be astronomical.
Well, that's what was news to me when Webb told me, have you talked to him? I said, no, I hadn't talked to him. He said he lost 3 big fish. He could have won the thing. Then I'm just like, oh, my gosh, that had to just crush your soul. But third place, man, that's just awesome. You said you found these fish deep and 25 foot deep. Now, from what I understand, from what I read, there was quite a bit of current. How did you deal with getting that? That's a tough thing to do, is to get a bait deep with that current. How'd you do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that came into play there. And, things, you look back in your life and things happen for a reason. And especially like fishing and stuff, there's things that happen in your past, kind of store in the bank. And so years ago on Kentucky Lake, I had a similar situation like that where there was ripping current through there. And I was like, I just need heavier weight. So from that event, and most people probably don't have this in their boat, I had some 1.5 ounce egg sinkers in my boat. So in practice, I put that on and was able to cast out in front of the boat, and still at the 1.5 ounce, once it hit the bottom, it was going towards the dam.
Wow.
Not super fast because I was in shell bed, so it would catch and then pop and then catch and then roll. But you would just fish it back through there, and those fish in the current, man, it would just load up, and you'd set the hook on them, and those current fish are strong. And the other bait that I used quite a bit was a jig, a 3/4 ounce jig, and I was having to take it and throw it in front of the boat, let it sink down to the bottom and just do short pops. If you tried to stroke it real high, that current would grab it and just take off with it. So you'd have to do a short, quick hop with it. and then it would come back down, and occasionally you would go to hop it, and unless you've ever done this, it's like one of the most amazing things in the world, right? You go to hop that jig, and when you hop it, it goes straight back down with a fish boat up on it.
Oh, my gosh.
Those were the two baits that I used the whole time. I tried cranking some in the current, and I know some guys were catching them on crankbaits. I just never could get them to bite a crankbait, but I Carolina rigged a Lake Fork ring fry and hopped a 3/4 ounce D&L jig, and those were the two weapons, on the boat.
It's Friday night. You're in sixth place. You know you're getting to fish the next day. Did you sleep at all?
Oh, no, not hardly at all. It's crazy. And if you look at my Facebook page, you'll see, I did some live videos and stuff, which I have never done live videos before, but I was so excited. Like, they told us our boats had to be in the water and lined up by 5:30 in the morning. At 4 a.m., I'm the only person in the parking lot sitting in front of the trailer wide awake.
That's awesome.
and then, Monica and the family, they came down to see you and got to see the weigh-in. How special was that?
Oh, that just meant the world to me. And Monica and I've had a lot of discussions about that, and I've thanked them profusely. And to have my family there, too, was just unbelievable. The whole thing was amazing. My son got to come up on stage with me. He didn't want to talk. He was kind of bashful. I was like, "Come on, get up there. You can do it." So
that's great.
What a memorable moment.
What's really cool is, they came down the top 10 boats. They line up for weigh-in too, and as they take the co-anglers up first, and I'm lined up there, man, with Jacob Wheeler and Buddy Groves, and John Murray, all these guys that I spend the weekends watching on TV, and I introduced Matthew to Jacob Wheeler, and just down there hanging out with those guys was just. It was like a fairy tale for me.
Yeah, no kidding. Jacob Wheeler, isn't he a back-to-back Bassmasters champion or something? I mean, that's insane.
I think he's won everything that you can possibly.
He's won everything there is to win at
MLF champion last year. I mean, big time. So you were right there threatening. Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, we're super proud of you. Nobody really knows, and we kid all the time about our spouses, how, they don't realize that, a day of fishing, how much stress and how much it just wears you out. And you pre-fished and you fish these long day events. I mean, it's hard on you, even though it's something that you love doing.
Yeah, and that's something that, a lot of people don't see, kind of talk about the iceberg effect. People see a lot of times the success at the top, but don't see the underlying, the huge part of that iceberg is, huge things like hard work, financial burden, stress. There's a lot that goes into getting to be able to fish at that level and have a successful event and stuff like that. Years and years of experience, and just the days on the water, daylight to dark on the water for a week, practicing for an event like that. And then after that, you have to have fish clean for 3 days to have a chance to win that thing. And even by losing 3 fish and to make it to the, third place was just phenomenal for me. Like I said before, God really blessed me, and it was just an amazing experience, and it makes me want to do it again.
We'll give all the glory to God, but I don't know if you remember or not, but I told you sitting down at Del Holla, this was going to be a magical year for you, Bean. I was on track, buddy.
Yeah.
He's been fishing Del Holla all spring. Fishing deep ain't no problem for him.
Hey, this is something that's cool, too. The top 3 of the Toyota Series is at Del Holla.
Oh, no. Look out.
Oh, baby.
Look out. Well, we're going to have a lot of fun following you, man, on this tournament trail, that's for sure.
Yes, we are.
It's awesome.
You want to shout out your sponsors before we
Webb and I just want to know if we're ever going to be able to get back in the boat.
Do I get to get back in the boat, or we got to buy a ticket?
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
No, you guys are in the boat anytime. You know that.
Run through those sponsors.
Real
We got
quick,
30.
I know Renegade Marine sponsors the show and stuff, but Sherbert and Linda, awesome folks. I couldn't do it with them. Sherbert's one of the people that really gave me a shot to go and do some of this stuff. Without him, none of it's possible. Some of my other sponsors that I have, Fireman Moving Company, Best One Fleeting Service, Shimano, G. Loomis, and I know I'm missing some guys. Southern Kentucky Radio, ESPN 102.7.
Yeah, baby. Yes, sir.
You know, you guys have had me on the radio tons and tons of times.
It's awesome.
It's overwhelming. D&L Jigs, they're one of my sponsors, and actually we're responsible for most of my bigger fish. My upgrades came off of that 3/4 ounce football jig.
Buddy, we appreciate you. Love you. Just my heart floweth over. Brad's as well.
Oh, yeah. We're super proud of you, buddy.
And
thank you so much.
to have you and Seth Feider on the show at the same night, and Matt
I was
Robertson.
To that earlier and talking with Matt. And, you know, Matt's a great guy, and he mentioned, you know, that he and I shared a spot for a little bit on day 2. But how cool is that to be talking to him and go, hey, you want to talk to Seth Feider?
I mean, dude, and I always, you know how good I am at names, and I always say Feider when I never get it right. But you know what? He's exciting, but Michael Bean's my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
He's the fishing fireman. How can you not love him, Brad?
That's good stuff there, man.
And you guys are so parallel to each other with his fireman duties, and you a state trooper and now a conservation officer for the last decade or so. It's pretty cool how that correlation runs together.
Well, and I've told Bean many times he's made me a better fisherman, and I don't just say that lightly. He's really, really good and a great fisherman, top notch. So
well, he's made me a better person. So I guess you a better fisherman, me a better person. We appreciate you. Love you, man. Way to go. Congratulations. Life-changing stuff right there, buddy. We'll see you all next Wednesday. I don't know if it'll be this exciting, but we're going to try to match it next Wednesday. Brad Bowles, thanks for being here.
I enjoyed it. It was fun. Thanks for having me back on the show, man.
Absolutely. SOKY's Great Outdoors, ESPN 102.7.
And not prepared to discuss financial ones. Sarah Spain, Jordan Cornett, guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance line, including our next